Everybody's favourite mustachioed plumber who takes mushrooms and jumps on turtles is back on the big screen. Is it worth watching? Let's talk about that. Hey guys, I'm Karl, welcome to my movie film show. Feel free to subscribe down below if you would like to and if you haven't already. Today we're here to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie, one of the most highly anticipated movies of 2023. We've waited 30 years for another Super Mario Brothers movie after the first one was so amazingly terrible. Goombas! Of course, they're not related other than in name, and they're both based on the video game, although the first one is very loosely based on the video game. Illumination have teamed up with Nintendo, and they've made a Super Mario Brothers movie, which is for all the family. People who grew up playing the games in the 80s, kids who are just getting into the games now, and even just people who like animation. Right from the first trailers that came out for this movie, you could tell this was going to be a special movie. The animation style is mind-blowingly amazing. It's something that can be easily taken for granted, that the animation just looks so fluid and so amazing because Illumination are so good at what they do, but getting the animation so perfect and it actually looking like it's part of a video game takes a lot of work. That shouldn't be underestimated. Animation is one of the toughest forms of filmmaking. Guillermo del Toro recently said animation is just another medium for telling stories. It's not just for kids. That's a mistake a lot of people make with animated movies like this. You can't just enjoy them because no, these movies are for kids. That's not the case at all. This movie is for everybody. Everybody who grew up playing Mario, everyone who's ever played a Mario game or watched the old TV series, or anyone who has any nostalgia towards Mario at all. I recently saw IGN put out a review and said this movie is not a nostalgia-filled thing for people who love that. This is a kids movie. It's not a kids movie. Well, it is a kids movie. Kids will love this movie. It's colorful, it's bright, it's funny. But people who've always played Mario games all the way back to the beginning, there's a lot of teasers, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, and there's just a lot of nostalgia hits when that music hits. Because there's a lot of different music elements from Mario which are in the movie, and there's a lot of Easter eggs for lovers of Mario to pick out. Not just Mario, even Nintendo. For example, at one point there's a pizzeria in the background and it's called Punch Out Pizzeria, of course referring to a classic Nintendo game. Overall, the story in this one, it's nothing spectacular. It's kind of what we've seen before. Ultimately, Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser and Mario has to save the day. Shock horror. But as well, this movie is marketed towards everybody, including kids. It's an animated movie that's heavily pushed towards kids as well, so the story has to be easy to follow for them. But as I say, the story is based on Mario, and Mario stories tend to be fairly simple. The action is quite fun. There's a lot of really good integration of video game elements. Even at one point, Mario and Luigi at the beginning, they're running to an appointment they have for their plumbing business, and it basically becomes a 2D side scroller. One thing I was really hoping for the Super Mario movie is that Super Mario would actually do some plumbing for once, and he did. I was kind of blown away that they actually threw that in. It was quite funny. All the way through this movie, I had a big smile on my face. It just brought back so many great memories of playing Mario when I was younger and everything. On the way home from the movie theater, I was whistling some of the Mario songs all the way home. The cast is pretty spectacular. You got Michael Keegan-Key playing Toad, I believe. You got Charlie Day playing Luigi. You got Chris Pratt playing Mario, which there was a bit of controversy over because people are like, he's just doing Chris Pratt's voice. You got Jack Black playing Bowser, which many people are saying is stealing the show. His song Peaches is already, you know, in the charts now, which is kind of insane. And then Anya Taylor-Joy plays Peach. Chris Pratt, as I mentioned, he was getting a lot of stick for his voice because in the trailer it sounds like he's just doing Chris Pratt's voice. Once you settle into the movie, the voices just work. Of course, Jack Black is one of the standouts. I love the little hints within it as well that at some point we're going to get a Luigi's Mansion movie, and it's definitely the case that there's going to be a lot more Super Mario movies because this one has done exceptionally well at the box office. My local movie theater has put more screens of this movie on than any other movie in recent memory. Every single one of them that I tried to book into had a ton of people going to it. This movie is making a lot of money and will make a lot of money going forward. So it's undoubtedly getting a sequel and possibly a threequel and a fourquel. That's probably a thing. So overall, the Super Mario Brothers movie, it's a hell of a lot of fun. I can't recommend it highly enough. If you're one of these people who has a thing like, oh, it's animated, it's not for me, it's definitely for you. Go watch it. You'll have a hell of a lot of fun. It's not the greatest movie of all time. It's not the greatest story ever told, but it's a lot of fun. So for me, it's a 7 out of 10 movie. It's interesting because now Super Mario and Sonic both have good movies. Well, relatively good movies. They both have the best video game to movie movies. And it's not that long ago, I did a video where I told Hollywood to stop making video game movies. Shocking that they didn't listen to a YouTuber with less than 1,000 subscribers, isn't it? That video is right over here to check out. There's another video down here to check out, and I'll catch you in the next video.